All right. All right. Hey, I'm glad everybody could join. Those watching the video, hopefully you get something out of this. Hopefully everybody learn a little something, take forward, and help them with their transition as they move forward into the next chapter of their life. All right. Next slide. All right. All right, here's the outline. Some of the topics we're going to hit on, but if you have questions, we can go down any avenue of which questions you have, and I'm sure it's going to open some rabbit holes as we start talking about some of these topics. All right, next slide. All right, first, you got to figure out what's your dream. All right, where do you see yourself 5, 10 years down the road? All right, and then you got to figure out how you're going to plan the straight line distance. How am I going to get to that dream the shortest way possible? All right, and over my time and experience, I learned that some people don't dream and some people don't dream big. So you need to dream. You need to dream it in 3D. What does that dream look like? Do I see myself retired on the beach? All right, which beach do you think you should be at? What's your temperature? What's your ideal temperature? What do you want that sand to feel like? So you need to dream in 3D. You need to know exactly what I want my dream to look like. All right, I want to be working in corporate America, running a Fortune 500 company or something. All right, which industry, what dream you can get there, but you need to dream in 3D and make it where that dream is turned into like a op order to a plan and it's driving you there. All right, and then reassess your dream and make adjustments to help you. Because life does happen, challenges will come, and you have to change your plan on the fly to help you get to achieve your dream. All right. All right, next slide, please. All right, so we all have heard it. We've been in the military long enough, I'm not a lifer. I'm only going to hang out for a couple of years. I remember when I joined the first time, when I joined the military, I was only going to hang out for a couple of years. And then 7 re-enlistments later, and I'm sitting in Afghanistan, I don't know, like 11 years in the Army, and somebody's, the re-enlistment guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, First Sergeant, you're going to need to re-enlist in DEF." I was like, "In DEF, what's this? What's this madness? I only do 3 years. Then you come back and ask me another 3. No, you're going to, this is your last time." And I was like, "Oh, wow, here we go." All right, so don't worry. No matter what the reason you join, retirement's going to come first of all, and you're going to have to, you're going to have to take it. We do have a shelf life, people. Your body will let you know what that shelf life is. All right, next slide. All right, so this is a very detailed retirement tracker telling you how do you get there from 3 years out all the way to day 0 when it's time to retire. All right, what do I have to hit? What are my benchmarks? What are my key tasks that I have to do to make myself successful? So you can happen to retirement, or you can let retirement happen to you. But either way, it's coming. So the more you are proactive, the more you control how smooth your transition is going to be. We'll send these slides out. You'll have a copy of this, and that way you can use it as your guide to help you to see what you need to accomplish in your time. All right, some of the big takeaways here: retirement services. Make sure you contact those people. I don't know, state has retirement services. I know active duty does down at Fort Carson. Contact them. Make sure you have enough time eligible to retire. All right, so make sure, hey, when can I plan to retire? This is what I'm thinking about. This is what does this look like? What's the reality? And they'll tell you the reality. And then you'll go through here. You have things like Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program. You can do it a couple of times. I recommend you do it at your 24 mark, and then do it again at your 12-month mark. So that way you know what you're expecting, and then you got the newest information on the street when it's time for you to go ahead and start your transition, because you want the hottest information on the street. There's some things in there, retirement ceremony that involves, bringing in family and all that stuff that you'll eventually deal with. Some of the bigger things you want to be looking out for, thinking about your medical, prepping your medical, and prepping for life to deal with the VA. The VA, it can be everything they said it could be. It can be everything they said it could be. So you need to be prepared for it. So you'll do your your VA physical, do your over 40 physicals, do your sleep study. All right, get that done. Make sure if you're getting your mental health checked. All right, because it's a difficult process to turn it off. It's not a switch. Right, so you slowly got to get you into the mindset instead of being a civilian and learning how that goes. All right, it's not a bad thing, but it's a transition. And then you need to figure out your after service medical. What are we going to do for the family? What works best for me in my situation? If I'm single, what works for me? I'm going to do TRICARE. I'm going to do Prime Standard. I'm going to use the dental, Delta Dental. Let me tell you, Delta Dental costs more than TRICARE. You will pay more for dental than you do for your medical insurance. All right, vision, not so much. 3 people, around $20 a month, but they will make their money up in dental. Trust me. All right. Things you got to start working on. You got to start networking. All right. Back in the days, people would make the stigma. I'm not going to kiss anybody's butt. I'm not going to do this. No, you need to network. You need to get out there. You need to start talking to people that's in the industry that you want to go into. All right, and then make sure you let everyone that's already in your network know that you're looking, because that's where you're going to find the jobs. Over 80% of the jobs aren't from applying for jobs; it's from networking. And so, make sure you're out there. You're talking to people in the industry you want to be in, and you're letting the people I am going to be available at this date. All right, if something pops up, think of me. All right, let them know that you're out there. Let them know you're looking. Michael Quinn if you go to LinkedIn, this guy, retired Sergeant Major Michael Quinn, he gives a whole series on how to deal with LinkedIn and how to build your profile. That's going to be a big deal, is your LinkedIn profile. Even if you can once you get it set up, you can open it up for recruiters to come. They will come and start recruiting you because they're looking for military. All right, we bring a lot to the table, so they're looking for you. But they have to know that you're looking. So once you get on there and look up some of them Michael Quinn's data. When you get these slides, they're down in the notes section is gonna have everything I'm talking about, a lot of links and everything. So it's pretty user friendly. But I think my wife, she's a contractor as well, and her last 4 positions, she hasn't applied for anything. LinkedIn, they just came looking for her. So once you get a good profile going, and they will come looking for you. Corporate America is really big on young officers. They love them. I'll cover that a little bit later. Indeed is also a item you can use to help look to job hunt. Glassdoor. So if you find a company that you like, you can research that company. How's it to work at that company? How's it to what's my growth potential? What do I want to know about that company? But be very careful about Glassdoor, because I recently found out that companies can pay to have bad comments removed on that company. So talk to someone that you can reach out through LinkedIn, or if you find someone in that company, say, hey, I want to go work at Lockheed Martin. Look up Lockheed Martin. Say, here's the hiring manager. Hey, you mind if we meet for coffee? You buy, of course. Let me sit down. Let me pick your brain, about the company. And that way you get a good fit. Try to get a better feel for the company. Resumes. You need to start preparing your resume. That'll be on there as well. Business cards. Order a ton of business cards, because you'll be out and you'll be talking and you'll be mingling and you'll be passing out your cards. Your cards should be really tailored to your line of work that you're looking for. If you want to go into operations, front of that card should say operations manager, operations, or whatever, intelligence, whatever. The front of that card should have that, and the back of the card will have all your LinkedIn data and email. Make sure you have a good email. That email you had when you were 19 years old, make sure it's appropriate for where you want to be at in your future life. And we all seen them. We all know our buddies with those emails, and you go, All right, you're gonna be passing this out to people. You don't want them to see that when you're out there passing out your name. All right, so make sure you have a good email, and then Michael Quinn will teach you how to clean up your LinkedIn data and all that stuff. Transportation is on there. Once you get out, even if you're staying in state, if you're staying in state, if you're moving from Colorado Springs to Miami or wherever, that's a PCS move, and the government will pay for it. After you hit 1 year of having left service, you can extend up to 5 times. So you can call and say, hey, I'd like to extend my move. So even if you're not going to use it, keep extending, because later down the road, you may get a wild hair and be like, you know what? I think we want to go to a smaller house because the kids are grown, they're gone. We need a smaller footprint because we don't want to spend our time cleaning this house. So then you call the Army up and say, hey, come move my stuff. I just got another house. And they'll show up. It'll be the same thing. They'll move you and save yourself some heartache, or you can do a Diddy move and all that stuff. So on the notes page, there'll be some links to Soldier for Life retirement services like Fort Carson or whatever, and DFAS. So you can start looking up, you can get an idea. You can go and punch in all your data and get an idea of what does my retirement check look like. All right, next slide, please. All right, so now you're leaving service. You figure out, all right, I'm going to school, I'm going to work, if that's forcing on one or for yourself, or I'm retiring and I'm taking to the house. All right, Fort living room, chair salt, it's already planned, and I reached the promised land. So, but you got to figure out, which one of those dreams are you going to do. All right, next slide. All right, so going back to school, that's a good plan. Say, as I figure out what I want to be when I grow up, I want to be something I need a little bit more education for. I want to be a lawyer. I had a sergeant first class that worked for me one time, retired, got out, went to law school. Now he's out doing retirement law stuff, estate planning. So you I always wanted to do it. This is a great time to do it. Once you retire, that's a great time to go out and get, or if you just separate, that's a great time to figure out this is where I want to go. All right, so you can look at if you got your GI Bill or your post 9/11. They also have there's money you can tap into vocational rehab. Vocational rehab if you're going to do a job. So say my job was military police in the Army. Due to injuries, I'm no longer to be a police officer. Now, voc rehab will kick in some extra money for me to go to school to learn how to do something else. So that's more money you could tap into. And then in the notes page, there'll be a link for some scholarships that are out there for veterans that you can tap into to help fund, whatever that dream that you want to get. So, but I urge you to get in there, look up what scholarships, look what grants are available, and chase it. Please, next slide. All right, so there's work options. All right, I want to start my own business. So what can I do? There's things I can start my own business. Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center, they have classes and seminars that teach you how to start your own business. If you want to do government contract, if you want to run your own business, they teach you how to write proposals. They'll teach you how to keep your books. They'll teach you everything you need to know to help you be successful, and that's what they do. Most of the stuff is free of charge. I think some of the seminars you have to pay a couple of bucks for, but it's a whole day. They give a whole day event. I attended one, and it was like 8 different classes we were going to learn about different things, and they had people from the community that come in and tell you their lessons learned, so that way you don't have to worry about. You can learn from other people's mistakes. I recommend you do that. Colorado Springs Workforce Center is a good resource also. It's down off of Garden of the Gods. They have an office down there, and they'll help walk you through a lot of things. They'll help identify training that you need and help you get that training. Fort Carson Business Starter Class, they have a week-long seminar down there that you can go down and take about starting your own business, and you figure out everything you need to know and it's a pretty good class. It's, like I said, it's a week long, and they'll take care of you. Career skills program down at Fort Carson, just like every other military installation out there. This career skills program where they have a lot of different avenues you can go down. You can figure out. They have troops to teachers. You can do. There's troops to principals, depending on where you are in your education. If you caliber collision. If you, hey, I want to work on cars, you can go down there. You can go to that workforce. They have American trucking, two different American trucking. I don't know what they're now, but there was two different American. You want to be a truck driver, you go learn how to drive a big rig. All right, you can go out there on the road. But there's good money in driving a truck, but you are on the road. All right, so they do have around town trucking, which is, keep within 100 miles of your area, but open road trucking is where the big money's at. DoD Skill Bridge program, that's another program that they have out there that'll help you take your military education and everything you learn and translate it into corporate America. And if you get out and you don't, hey, I'm done with missiles and I want to be in corporate America, those leadership skills that you acquired while you were in the military that's what the companies want. They want to see all that leadership skills that you have. All right. Military normally does very well out in the workforce. Veterans, local government management. All right, so I participated in that plan as well. That was so they take prior soldiers and they insert you into leadership areas out in the local government. You have to be, there's some stipulations, you have to be within 50 miles of a military installation to execute it, because once the Army lets you go, well, they can let you go. The program runs 16 to 20 weeks long. So you'll go out and you'll work out in the local government or county for 16 to 20 weeks. And you learn everything there is about running a local government. So a little history about that one. So Woodland Park, everyone knows where Woodland Park is, right? So the manager of Woodland Park is Darren Tangerman. All right, he's a former Special Forces operator, got out, retired Lieutenant Colonel, and he went into managing local government. So he started off, he was down in managing Pueblo West, and then he said, hey, I want to give back. So he started a program where it helped people like yourselves and myself get involved, get us placed in local government, in different places. There's a lot of jobs in local government, depending on how that avenue you want to go. Fast forward, the program was a success. Big military said, hey, we're going to make this a federal program. Thanks for creating it. Now the program is located in Washington, D.C., and it was, I can't remember his name, retired sergeant first class. He was in the class before mine. He's now running it out of D.C., and they're all over the U.S. So you don't have to just be in Colorado Springs. That's where I did my fellowship with. But you can go out, hey, I want to go work local government in North Carolina or Washington State. Like I said, you do have to be within 50 miles of a military installation for your medical and all that stuff to cover you. So the Army makes sure you're taken care of on your way out the door. All right. But great benefit for them because they're getting free work. Great benefit for you because you're in there getting those certifications and you're learning how it operates. All right. And then you become like ICMA. You become a member of ICMA. That's when you get out and you're mingling with those local governments around the world, around the U.S., and you get to learn who's who in the zoo, and you're networking. You're passing out your card, and you're networking. All right, and when something comes up, you're the person they think of. Corporate fellowship, hire heroes. I started off in that program. So corporate fellowship, hire heroes. There's hire heroes and hiring our heroes. Hire heroes is geared towards getting former military embedded in corporate America. So there's a lot of, if you go to the website, there's a link in the notes. If you go there, you can see all the companies that's participating in there, and they will get you, they help get you in a cohort where they get you developed and get you prepared to transition over. Because there's a lot of things we have to learn as we transition over. Because one thing, military, unlimited resources we have, like manpower. You don't have that out in the real world. Manpower costs money, right? Military, you can say, hey, give me 20, and 20 people will come running. Doesn't work like that in the real world. So you have to learn how to transition, those skills over. But they're there to help you. They're eager. They want, you can, who did I interview with, let me see. My current employer, I interviewed with them. I interviewed with Raytheon, a lot of communication centers. And if long as if you want to go to Denver, there's a lot of jobs in Denver if you're staying in the local area that are taking military. There's a lot of places, corporations up there that are taking military. But I was trying to keep Colorado Springs local. So, but there's still a lot of choices here. All right. All right, ACP, American Corporate Partners. I highly recommend you do that. So what that is, you sign up, they pair you up with somebody that's out there in the corporate America. All right, it may be a CEO. One of my partners, he had a CEO of the train company that's like west of the Mississippi. He was partnered with the CEO. I was partnered with Denise, who was she was a executive officer in a financial retirement planning firm. So what this person does, they'll talk to you once a month or twice a week, whatever best for you, and they'll help you get your resume tailored. They'll give you that. They'll give me that one-on-one counseling, that mentorship, and you're getting this from somebody out there in corporate America that's pretty successful, and they're eager. All right, and they're eager to share with what they learned. They'll help you as you transition out, and it's a year-long program, so make sure you plan it right, so that way it helps you with your transition. I recommend you do it at 6 months before you get out, so that way it helps you transition and helps you, to make sure they do follow up to make sure you're good on the other side. So I highly recommend that everyone does that. All right, next slide, please. Well, you can go civil servant, there's so many acronyms and so many pay charts and scales and everything. You got SES, GO equivalent, GS, which we normally see, your general schedule. NH, we'll see that a lot out there at Schriever. There's a lot of Air Force that are in NH. FV, that's your education platforms for your people, DOD. GP is more medical field. GL, that's more law enforcement. And then WG, that's more mechanics, more mechanical stuff. And then NAF is non-appropriated funds. And that's like, you'll see a lot of that at like the commissary and stuff like that, NAF employees. All right, so if that's the route you want to go, that's a good route. JRTC, it's a good route too. You'll still be in uniform, but you'll be in uniform in a different capacity. You'll be working the teacher schedule, so you'll have your summers off. Some states that they will pay you your military pay and your teacher equivalent pay if you get certified as a teacher. So it behoove you to get certified, so that way you can double dip. Depending on the state you go to. If you go to that link there, you can cruise the state and see what's available. I looked at Colorado, and I believe there was only 2 schools available, but you can go back to your home state and do that if you want to still partake in that. All right. Government contracting. There's tons of companies. In this town, you can't throw a stick without hitting one of them. So if that's what you still want, if you want to do government contracting or continue in your field on the government contracting side, There's stuff to do if you want to do overseas. I know there's big money in that. Dynacor and what's the other big one? KBR, Wiley are some of the big overseas contractors. I know KBR, I think they recruit out of their Dallas-Fort Worth office for most of their overseas stuff. But there's you can go over there. You stay out of the country 290 days. The first, I believe, like 98,000 are tax-free. If you want to, you want to keep traveling, that's another way. All right, Mount Carmel, one of the best resources we have here in Colorado Springs. So Mount Carmel, located downtown off of 8th Street. Mount Carmel is, they have a lot of resources. When you're in the military, you have, you got ACS and you got SFL TAP and all that stuff. When you leave the military, what do you have? Mount Carmel, they give you a lot of resources and they will take care of you a lot before you head out. They have things like they have transition and employment assistance. They'll assign a counselor to you and help you find you jobs. They'll help you apply for jobs. They have financial coaching, which may be something you have to do if your affairs aren't in order on your way out the door. I recommend the safety of the getting paid on the 1st or 15th could change for your situation. So you may want to have your money in order on the way out the door. So that's one less stress on your house that you have to deal with as you transition. All right, the less stress you can reduce as you transition, the more you can focus on the transition and the things you should be doing to be successful. All right. Let's see. They offer legal assistance, education support for veterans. They have civies, which is if you don't have a suit, say you don't have a suit for an interview or whatever, you go down there, see the civies office, and they'll take care of you. They'll get you in a suit to help you get fitted, and they'll square you up so where you look professional as you step out there into the real world. Prep Connect 360. If you will be here in the Colorado Springs area, I recommend you do the Prep Connect 360. Prep Connect 360 is a week-long course, and it's so the Army gives us Soldier for Life Transition Assistance Program, right? Prep Connect 360 is like that on steroids. So they do Myers-Briggs with you, so to help find out what job meets your personality. And for some reason, mine kept coming back to government worker or something, but I've been drinking the Kool-Aid for too long. But they'll help you find out what jobs meet my personality, and then what jobs are available for my education or my skills. So they'll help tailor that in. Then they bring in real companies from around the city, and they help you work on your interview. All right, because when the last time anyone interviewed for a job? It's probably been a little while. All right, so they'll help you get your interview down. That is the biggest takeaway you will leave there with. Nanette Mueller, she volunteers, runs that. Her and Mark and those guys. She's retired Air Force officer, former space program person, very intelligent. Everyone knows who's who in the zoo. So if you say, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for," they will help you get to where you want to go. So I highly recommend if you take that class. That you can take that class, and your spouse can also take that class as well. So you're not just limited. All right, and then we have hiring our heroes. Hiring our heroes, because when the last time anyone wrote a resume? It's probably been a while. Hiring our heroes will help you take all your military experience, your NCOERs, OERs, and they will help you write your resume. All right, that's and they're right down off of Garden of the Gods. And Centennial, I believe, but they'll help sit you down, help you write your resume, help you get dialed in. Right? So, because they understand all those, I served with at least 3 of those guys down there. So all those they know, they've been there, and they're eager to help you to get where you want to go. All right. All right. Next slide. All right. So you're going out, leaving the military. You got, you're used to that first and that 15 paycheck. And now you realize I'm gonna have to adjust for my, for my lifestyle to meet my current needs, right? So, I
didn't see the PGA anywhere in this.
I'll cover that later. It'll be the notes, sir. So there's different programs you can use to help get your affairs in order. Many years ago, the wife and I, we found a guy called Dave Ramsey. Anybody ever heard of him? Yeah. So we did the Dave Ramsey. We did our baby steps, and it was life-changing. It was life-changing because it helps you get your affairs in order, and you have access to your greatest wealth-producing tool, which is your income. Instead of giving it to, the credit card people or to, whoever, to the car people, you're actually keeping it and you're investing it, and you actually get to use your greatest wealth building tool, which is your income. All right. It doesn't matter how much you make; it's how much you spend. Right. So most of the millionaires, guess what? Most of the millionaires, everyday millionaires that run around the U.S. are teachers and cops and firefighters. Right. They're not making six figures. They're not, they're making a decent income, but they're not spending as much as they make. So, so a good book to check out, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Great book. Dave Ramsey, go to DaveRamsey.com. Look at the baby steps. Mount Carmel offers the Dave Ramsey program for free. So you can go down there. It offers it for free, so you don't have to pay a dime, and you can get it in order.
That's
right?
something you can take now as opposed to.
That's something you can take now. You can call them up and say, "Hey, when are you next time you're doing a financial peace class?" And I like to get in on it. All right, and it is life changing. Let me tell you.
Is that something that you have to attend, or is it something online?
So there's different ways you can do the Dave Ramsey class. The Brigade Commander asks, that's something you can attend, or that's something you have to do online. You can do it either way. The wife and I, we ordered the CDs. It's like, oh, the military edition, that must be for me. So we got online, we ordered the CDs, which we could have took the regular one. The military stuff doesn't play in the factor until later in the baby steps. All right, so when you first started, so baby step 1, you save $1,000. All right, the rest of it, you hold off on that for a second. Once you got $1,000 of cash, then you go to baby step 2. You list your debts, smallest to largest, and you pay them off like that. So you get that snowball effect, and it gets bigger and bigger, and you're seeing it, and you're getting into it. Then baby step, once you complete that, all your bills are paid off. You're debt free. You go to baby step 3, which is you save 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you're retired military, you may have to save 3 months because you got a check coming in to cover if something happens. That way depending on your situation. Baby step 4, you're putting away 15% of your income towards retirement. Right? And baby step 5, you're saving for kids' college funds. Baby step 6, you pay off your house. And then baby step 7, you're building wealth. You run out of places to hide the money, all right? But it's a beautiful thing. I highly recommend it, and you can take it online or you can go down there. If you ever listen to Dave Ramsey, I highly recommend you go somewhere, do it with your local church, or you do it down here with other people, so that way you have peers and people experience, because people will tell you stories about going through the process and how they got to where they are. And I can tell you the wife and I, we're thinking about hosting a class ourselves, because I can tell you all the stupid we've done over the years. And my nickname was New Car. I used to waste so much money on new cars. It was sad. Before I learned the way to do it, the proper way to do it, and to be successful with it. But once you get that in order with the money you make, you're limited by your imagination and things you can do in life. Yes, sir. Major Brown.
And one thing I don't know if you know, the Colorado Guard actually has financial advisors,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll sit down with you and make the Ramsey every dollar budget.
Oh, great.
Like me and my wife met with one of them probably close to a year ago, just right up at North Springs Armory. Sat down, he walked us through, said, hey, download this app. We technically can't say do Dave Ramsey, but it's a good program.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good
app. plug it in here, let's build a budget together, and, yeah.
Budget was the biggest thing to help you out is the budget. Telling your money what to do, knowing where your money's going, controlling your money, not getting paid, then wondering where it went the next day. We're like, man, I just had like $1,000 laying around here yesterday. All right, telling your money what to do. So that the budget app is free. Like I say, can't tell you to use Dave Ramsey. I just telling you that's the program that we use. It was successful for us. I suggest if you have bills, if you have debt, locate your program. Locate your program because it goes fast. This ride called life goes fast. Locate your program, and the better you prepare for it, the less you have to be on the ride. You don't have to work until you're 60 if you're prepared for it. Some people do because they love what they do, or you can wrap it up sooner if you're prepared for it, or you can work longer if you're not prepared for it. Either way, yeah, you got to figure something out for yourself. But thank you, Major Brown. All right. Once again, you can get that training, or you can find a financial advisor there. The state offers it as well. And then active duty, of course, there's financial advisors on post, but you can also get it free down at Mount Carmel as well. All right, next slide. All right, so there you are. Retirement, right? Staring at that big old nest egg. All right, that nest egg is what do I got coming out in versus what I got going out. How big is my egg? What does my egg look like? All right, so Army retirement. You can figure there's ways you can make your Army retirement stretch a little bit longer. There's 8 tax-free states, 9 states that give tax-free to military retirement, and then there's 18 states that give some kind of relief to your military retirement. All right, so as you're deciding where I'm going to settle down at, make sure you understand that. All right. Another decision factor that I learned, last year I didn't know, there's a thing called lifetime learner. Lifetime learner is when you're 60 years old, you can go to a local college and take classes for free for the rest of your life. You can, I always wanted to learn how to, run my own plumbing, or I want to learn how to fix a car or whatever. Some states offer lifetime learning. So that became one of decision points for my wife and I on when we choose a state. I was like, man, because you got to do something with your time, and I'm not going to sit there and just grow old and die. So you got to keep your mind sharp. Got to keep your mind sharp. So it's like, all right, lifetime learning. That's going to be one of our criteria. All right, VA disability, tax free. If you're over 50% disabled, you get 2 checks versus if you're under, portion of your check is non-taxed. All right. So make sure you're doing your VA stuff correctly. You either talk to the VA people. They have state VA people, state VA office located up by Costco off of Powers. There's a VA office on Fort Carson. I did mine through Wounded Warrior. One of my hunting buddies, he's a VA rep for soldiers. I did mine through Wounded Warrior, and you send them all your stuff, and they go lobby for you and do all your VA fighting. All right, so you have those options available to you. IRAs, 401ks. All right, remember when you start looking at that, you're talking about the 4% rule. Most financial advisors use the 4% rule. So if I have, for every dollar I have, I'm only taking 4% of that, so that way I'm not killing the goose. The goose is still laying those golden eggs. All right, so and the golden eggs are still the same size. So you figure, so for every $1 million, it should kick you $40,000 a year. That's using the 4% rule, and it will continue to kick you $40,000 a year for every $1 million you have until you leave. All right, so that fluctuates based off of you. Then once you hit a certain point, you'll start looking at your different investments and different places to put your money to make it safe from taxes and the market. You'll start diversifying that way. Social Security, if it's available, that'll be coming in, helping building that nest egg. It'll probably be available, but at a different rate. And then you got cash and trust if anyone's still receiving a trust anywhere. things you're gonna have to worry about on the other side after you retire. Housing is the biggest cost to your nest egg. Housing is going to be your biggest cost as a retiree. So that if you follow a plan and you get that house paid for, your biggest expense is gone. All right, that's a lot of freedom of movement around the battlefield. So you can go ahead, you can move around, and you can do whatever you want to do. Transportation. Don't know if buying a new car right before you retire is a good idea. Probably not a good technique, but something you can do. Medical. If you retire from the military, medical is a good thing. TRICARE for life, TRICARE Prime Standard. That's going to save you so much money. A lot of people don't understand how much money we save by using TRICARE. Right now, I believe it's like $600 for the year for a family, which is insane for medical. And then, of course, vision, dental add with that. Once Medicare kicks in, I believe 65, unless you're disabled. One other thing I didn't write down here, before you get out of the military, life insurance, you may want to look at that, because you got VLSGLI, which costs a fortune. But when you're in the military, all those injuries you have, those aren't documented yet until you go sign them up with the VA. So you can still qualify for a good, cheap life insurance. So program we use, Dave Ramsey always tells us, life insurance there to cover income if a person dies. All right. So if you're the sole provider to you got 2 kids, you're the sole provider, and you need to have that life insurance cover about 10 years of your income. So that way, if you do die, she can invest that life insurance, and then the 4% rule kicks in, and that'll keep kicking your spouse, he or she, will keep kicking them that 4%. So that way they're taken care of. All right. So life insurance is something you want to think of. If you try to get life insurance once you retire, it's very difficult. Very difficult. So I had a buddy of mine, Lieutenant Colonel, came to me and said, "Hey, go get your life insurance before you get out." I said, "Roger that." Went and knocked it out, and been grateful that I've taken care of that, especially now with Corona and everything. So it's even harder to get life insurance now, So if you can get it, and if someone's dependent on your income, then probably something you should do. So my wife and I, we both work. So we did enough life insurance to pay off the house. Because if you can't survive with a paid-for house and a decent income, then you probably don't deserve to. So do whatever you need to do for your current situation. All right. You'll need insurance like normal. You'll need your car, your life insurance, home insurance, long-term health care insurance. That's something that's going to cross your plate at some point in time. A lot of people recommend at 60 to get long-term health insurance, long-term health care insurance. Because so what can happen to that golden egg, to that goose? All right, say you become ill, which we all get old, right? We're all going to eventually. We're not getting out of this one alive. I hate to spoil it for you. So eventually, it's going to get to a point where you're going to need to be taken care of.
Williams, why did you look at me when you said that?
Sir, that was a general comment, because we're not going to get out of this one alive. So we need to understand, what can I do to make sure I'm prepared for that. All right. If you have to go into a nursing home in Colorado Springs, last year, 2019, was $107,000 for the year.
My grandfather-in-law pays like $5,000 a month to live in a one-bedroom nursing home room.
It is expensive. That's the living home. Then you got the care that goes with that. So I looked it up today, and it was $106,948 for 2019 for Colorado Springs. And as you go up the highway, it costs a little bit more. So this is one of the things that can cause damage to your golden egg. All right. So it's okay. So say if you're married, your spouse passed, and it's just you, and you guys have this wealth that you built, and then you're self-insured, right? Because then if something happens to me, I can use this money here, all right? But if both of you become ill and require care, then what does that look like? If you want to, hey, I want to really leave my kids some money. I don't want to bleed the whole bank dry, on my way out the door. All right, what does that look like? All right, or if you become ill, or your spouse become ill, you're still healthy, and it's just taking away, just shrinking your golden egg. All right. So one way to help prevent that is long-term health care insurance, but you don't have to worry about that until you're in your 60s. I didn't look at you, sir. But you don't have to worry about that until you're later on in life, and that's something that can help you protect that golden egg. All right, and then of course living expenses. What do you see life at? Like, what do you see? What do you see yourself doing? The wife and I, we're travelers. We love traveling. We love jumping on cruises. We love whatever. So during my travels, last year, cruise, we were on a cruise, and we're sitting there, and I see some, an older couple, and they're out there, it's the Disney cruise, and I'm going, I don't see them with kids. What's going on? Are they shopping? What are we doing? And they're just, talking to them. They're just out there and just like, hey, they called us up, said it was a last minute deal, and cost us a couple $100, and we jumped on the boat. I was like, you know what? I like it. I like where you're going with this. So you want to give yourself enough nest egg to have the freedom to do anything you want. You get a wild hair up your butt to, jump in hey, I'm going to rent an RV or buy an RV, and I'm going to drive across the U.S. You should give yourself enough freedom to be able to do anything you want. Versus we all know, I don't come from a wealthy family, so my parents are well off, but we don't come from a wealthy family, and we all have those family members that are dependent on other people to make sure they make it. For me, I don't see that as a course of action to become dependent on my kids or anyone else to make sure I make it to a great retirement where I can do anything I want. All right, next slide, please. All right. That wraps up a lot of what I wanted to cover. I know it's a lot of information because there's a lot of resources, because there's a lot of people out there that really want to help military, want to help us be successful. So there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of links in the notes. Click those. If you have questions, does anybody have any questions now? Yes, Chief.
I've heard about the Troops to Teachers program. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that's still something that is available.
Yes.
Or if you had a bachelor's degree and
Yep.
you wanted to become either a substitute teacher or a teacher.
Yep. First of all, God bless you for wanting to deal with the kids, because you're a better person to be. Second of all, the career skill program down at Fort Carson, they do have the Troops to Teachers program. My daughter, one of her teachers was a former first sergeant. God bless you. We need you. Because, yeah, but it is available. It's a great program. And it'll be good. You have to figure out where you want to be, what age groups you want to deal with, and then do your while you're on active duty, research the state's teacher certification programs. I know they offer some down in the college in Pueblo off of 50. I know they offer some down there. Pikes Peak has a couple, so that way you can prepare yourself. So when you do transition, you don't have a long wait period. So you want to be proactive to eliminate your lag time. I have some buddies, like we all do, that retired and they're still at the house because, they're like, hey, I'm just going to take a couple of years off. 5 years later, they can't get that momentum again. All right. So, strike while the iron's hot, while your network is still active, while you still know people out there in sector, while you still know everyone, strike while it's hot. And let everyone know what your intentions are so they can help you. People want to help. People love helping. We do. We love helping. You see somebody, you love helping. But you have to let them know that you're looking for help. I know our biggest downfall in the military is our pride, right? That it bites us every time. All right, but ask for help. There's people out there that want to help you. All right. Any more questions? All right, that concludes my brief. In the back, some of the hidden slides will be some breakdowns, some decision charts to help you decide retirement things, and it'll help you get there. And if you have questions, if you ever run into problems, give me a call. Like I said, we love to help. We are a military family, retired, active. We are a military family, and don't be ashamed to reach out to family members for help. All right? That concludes my brief. Thank you.